everybody. Today I'm going to review the Festool CXS cordless drill. Now this is going to be a 10.8 volt lithium powered drill. It's very comfortable, very lightweight, and honestly I really like it, which is why I normally keep it hanging up on the wall behind the workbench. Now there's one really good thing about it in my opinion, and that's the fact that it does have removable chucks. So you can have, let's say, a drill bit keyed up in the keyless chuck. You can have the bit holder on there with the bit to put your pocket holes together. And then you can even have a right angle attachment if you're a cabinet installer. So this one drill would really replace the need of having multiple drills or constantly having to change bits depending on what you're working on. And you can get a lot of work done with it on just one charge. Now what I want to do in this video is give you some closer up looks at this. We'll go over all the different features of it, and then we're going to see how it actually performs. Here's a closer look at what comes in the kit. You can see there's a drill with a battery pack pre-installed, a second battery pack, a charger, as well as 3 different chuck adapters. We have a keyless chuck, a bit holder chuck, and then a 90-degree right angle adapter, which will work with either one of those. It also includes an owner's manual, and then Festool's Sustainer storage box. The Sustainer is going to have a fold-down handle on the top, so that means that you can carry it around very easily. And if you want to stack these, or when you get to wherever you're going and you want to put something on top of it, it will fold down out of the way and it's not going to hit anything. On the front of it is a large green latch. All we'll have to do is rotate that 180 degrees and the lid's going to fold right up. Now each thing has its own place inside of the blow molded insert. But if you aren't sure where something goes, they even include a colored guide on the top of the lid to show you so you don't put something in the wrong place. Here's a closer look at the drill, and I do want to point out that the very dark blue portion is going to be a very hard plastic, and then the lighter blue portion on the back of the grip is a little bit softer. However, it is not a rubber overmold. On the base of the drill you can notice a large green button. We can press that in and the battery pack's going to slide right out. And if you notice, it actually extends into the guard in front of the grip. It does not extend into the grip like a normal 12 volt tool. Now because of this, they were able to keep the size at a bare minimum, and it's extremely comfortable to use. The drill has 2 different speed or power modes. Speed mode 1 is going to be a lower speed but higher torque mode, coming in at 0 to 400 RPMs. And then for a higher speed but lower torque mode, you can flip that to speed or power mode 2, and it's coming in at 0 to 1200 RPMs. And in both modes, you're going to control how fast the chuck turns simply by how hard you press in on the variable speed trigger. Now on the front of this, you'll also notice a clutch ring. Right now we're on clutch setting 1 out of 12 possible clutch settings. And you'll use that, let's say, if you're driving some screws, you don't want to overdrive them, you don't want to strip something out. But to override the clutch and put full power from the motor into the chuck, just flip it to where it looks like a drill bit, and that's going to override that setting, giving you full power as you're drilling. When it comes time to use the drill, you do have multiple options because of the different chucks that are included, including that 90-degree right angle adapter. Now the good thing about that, it's also going to work with the keyless chuck or the bit extension. We can go ahead and just line it up, lock it into place, and then when you pull the trigger you can watch the end turn. Now like I said, the keyless chuck can fit right on here. Or the bit extension can fit on here exactly the same way. And it's as simple as just pulling that quick release collar back. It's going to lock into place and you'll be ready to go. Now what you do want to keep in mind with the 90-degree adapter, you can rotate this in many positions the whole way around. And then if you are in a very tight situation where nothing else is going to work, you can even use a standard 1/4-inch hex bit, slide it right in the end of the drill, and get to work. One thing I do want to point out about the keyless chuck, it is not a 3/8 inch or 1/2 inch keyless chuck. It's actually an 8mm keyless chuck. Now I actually took different bits to see exactly what that would be in standard. Here's the 3/8 inch bit. You can see it's just not going to go in there. But the next size down, which is going to be a 5/16, will go in there, and it would work just fine. Currently I have the belt clip set up for right-handed use, but let's say you're left-handed. It's as simple as pulling the battery out, taking the belt clip, just pulling it right out, moving it to the other side. It's going to slide in a corresponding slot. Then you'll take your battery and plug it back in, and that's how quick you can change it. The right angle adapter will work with either the keyed chuck or the bit holder. So if you have a very tight situation that you need to drill a hole in, and drilling normally just won't work, you can pop this on there, and then pop a hole right into the material. If you plan to use the drill in a workshop environment, it can really speed things up because of those interchangeable chucks. Because in the keyless chuck, we can go ahead and keep a drill bit installed. And then in the bit holder, we can keep whatever bit we need for assembly. In this case, we're dealing with pocket holes. I'll go ahead and pop a couple holes in this board. We'll assemble it to the other one. And because we don't have to deal with multiple drills or remove the bit and install another one, it really makes the process only take a couple seconds. Directly underneath the chuck is going to be an LED that will light up anytime you pull in on the trigger. And if you just barely press in on it, you can use it as a flashlight. But as soon as you release the trigger, it's going to instantly cut off. And directly underneath of that, they even have something called a magnetic bit holder. So if we have a standard 1/4" hex bit, it's going to lock right in place. And even if I move the drill around, it's not going to go anywhere. So you could keep screws there or bits, and it's going to really minimize the risk of you losing them as you work. The LED will also double as a warning light. Now this is going to blink when your battery gets very low, and in this case the battery is completely dead. When I pull on the trigger, you can see the light will flash, but the chuck will not turn. So in this case, I need to remove the battery, take a fully charged one and slide it back into place, and then I could get back to work. The charger is very easy to use and understand, and it does have an LED status light right here on the side. Now if you notice, it's a solid yellow LED currently, and that simply means that the charger is plugged in and it's ready to go. If we take a battery pack and click it into place, you'll notice that will turn to a green LED. In this case, it's rapidly blinking, and that means that the current charge of the battery is under 80%. Once it gets above 80%, that's going to slow down to a very slow blink. And then when it gets to 100% charge, it will turn to a solid green LED. Now what you need to worry about is if you ever see a red LED. If it's a solid red LED, it just simply means that the battery pack is either overheated or too cold to charge at the current moment. And then once it gets within that operating range, it will automatically start charging. But if you do see a blinking red LED, it means there's a problem with either the battery or how you plugged it in. So there could be a simple problem of sawdust being on the contacts, or it could even mean that your battery pack is defective. Now for a runtime test, I have a fully charged battery pack, and what we'll be using is a Kreg K4 pocket hole system, along with a 3/8" Kreg drill bit. And what we're drilling into is a 1x3 pine board with a nominal thickness of 3/4 of an inch. 134 3/8" pocket holes into a 1x3 on just one charge. So now you've seen Festool's CXS cordless drill for yourself. And really, for this size of a drill, I really like it because most of the time with a 12-volt tool, the battery pack's going to slide up into the grip, making it very oversized. And in my opinion, most 12-volt tools really are more uncomfortable to use than the 18-volt counterparts, because with those, the battery pack's going to slide on the bottom. With this one, because it is sliding up into the guard portion in front of your fingers, you don't run into that problem, and it is very compact and sleek in its design. Now, I really like the fact that it does have the interchangeable chuck, so we can go from drilling holes to driving screws in just a matter of seconds, and it really eliminates the need for having multiple drills on the same workbench. Now, if you are using this all day long to, let's say, build decks, it's probably not going to do the job for you just because it is a compact unit with compact batteries. And in that case, you would need a full-size drill. Now, the main advantage over the two of these is the fact that it is so much more compact. It's much more lightweight, and if you're doing delicate work all day long, this is definitely the one you're going to want to grab. Now, during the runtime test, I had on speed or power mode 2, which would be the high speed setting, and we got 134 3/8" pocket holes on just one charge. If you like this video, please click like. If you like my channel, please click subscribe. And thanks for watching.